Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Young Professionals, IEEE Young Professionals webinar. Today is an interesting series we have today. It's the first on a set of three series on our Member Benefits Insurance webinar series. And today we have representing regions 8 till 10 with the Clements Insurance. We have Tanya Eggleston with us today, and I'll be giving a brief introduction about her later on. Before we get started, however, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Matthew Carius. I'm the webinar specialist for the MGA Young Professionals Board. I'm also the vice chair for all communications and marketing throughout the IEEE Young Professionals Global Board. In 2015, we have been hosting monthly webinars, and we're going to be continue this on into 2016. So please stay tuned for monthly webinars on effective communication, leadership, technical and non-technical topics as well. In terms of audience participation, please throughout the entire webinar, just type any questions you may have into the question box below, and then at the end of the webinar, I'll be going back to those questions and asking Tanya to answer some of those questions we have there. And one of our initial initiatives we've been doing at the Global Board is free meetup events at global high-impact conferences. So right now, actually, we have a couple going on. Tanya's in actually Dublin right now, where Web Summit is happening, and today is our Young Professionals meetup event at Dublin City Hall. So these are free meetup events at global conferences going on at the exact same time. Actually, on the other side of the world, literally, is IEEE 10Con in Macau. And that just finished up yesterday, and we had an event there. So please just be aware of these free events, not actually part of these high impact conferences, but held in conjunction with, and they will be free for IEEE young professionals members. Please connect with us online. Check out our new career-based services in terms of Mentor Center and Resume Lab, and follow us on Twitter, on LinkedIn, YouTube. We have almost over 100 videos actually on our YouTube page, including all of our webinars. And please join our Young Professionals community on Collaboratech. We're actually building that at the moment with content, and actually a lot of Young Professionals user-based content is coming in on that page. So a lot of interesting topics are showing up on our brand new IEEE Collaboratech Young Professionals community. And so today's webinar is, like I mentioned before, Tanya Eggleston. She's an account executive with Clements Worldwide. She's been there 14 years. She's actually focused on the partner solutions division, focusing on international sales and affinity groups such as, of course, IEEE. She creates customized worldwide insurance programs that are able to meet the specific needs of organizations. She's also involved in many worldwide and local nonprofit or organizations. And thank you, Tanya, for being here. So please go ahead, take it away. Looking forward to it.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for that introduction. Today, our topic will be why international insurance matters. We have a partnership with IEEE. With that partnership, we're able to offer IEEE several insurance products, and hopefully, you will get an overview of that today. We will go to the next slide. Clements Worldwide. We've been around since 1947. Serving to international needs of expats worldwide. We are the preferred insurance provider of many professionals living and working abroad. We have access to car, personal property and liability, life and health, as well as especially high-risk coverage, including personal accident, kidnapping, ransom, war, and terrorism. IEEE, along with Clements, we've determined that we could create a good partnership, one that's dedicated to providing international members with worldwide insurance solutions. We've been in partnership since 2001, and so far the program has been working great. And so we always like to start off with a question, important thing that people fail to insure. We won't answer this question right now. We'll go towards the end. We'll get into that. But I just want you to think about, what is the most important thing that most people fail to insure? On today's agenda, we will talk about what is international insurance, why is it important, why as a young professional or student needs insurance. We will also discuss the IEEE member insurance website, talk about international term life, mobile property, accident, and disability. These are the main insurance products that are geared towards the IEEE members. Then we will discuss key considerations for international insurance, and at that time, we'll take any questions and answers. And so when you ask what is international insurance, what it provides is portable worldwide protection. Currently, our programs are offered in 67 countries along with IEEE. And what insurance does is provides you the financial security in the event of a loss. And it's a practical way to be a part of one's family financial plans. So when we think about international insurance, it's something that's global and can cross countries, and it's something you don't have to worry about when you're going from one country to another. And why is international insurance important? It's advocacy, representing your best interests abroad. It's convenient because, as I stated, it moves from country to country without any gaps in coverage. And it gives you protection in high-risk areas from terrorism, political violence, and acts of wars. And I think one of the most important things is the convenience of moving from country to country without any gaps in coverage. If you're traveling abroad or working abroad and you have several different assignments, you don't have to worry about whether or not you need to call your insurance broker to see if your policy would respond in this particular country. It actually moves along with you. Some young professionals may think, why do I need international insurance? I know when I was a young professional, I thought that as well. But when you think about it, insurance protects you in reference to your debt. If something happens to you, it's a way to protect your family so they have access to pay off any debt that you may have, including student loans. We also have a mobile property policy that will protect your laptops, gaming systems, mobile devices, and things like that. Your health, we have a healthcare solution that's global as well, and it protects the future of your family so that in the event something happens to you, your family has security of at least a financial security of knowing that they're taken care of. So through IEEE, international insurance members can obtain coverage for car, personal property liability, life, and health. And again, it's especially high risk, including personal accident, kidnap and ransom, extortion, war, and terrorism. Today, we'll be focusing on life, personal accident, as well as mobile property. So your International Insurance Center on the IEEE website, this is what that website looks like. You can click on the read more and get more information. And if you want to enroll, you simply click on enroll. It's a very simple website for the life insurance. There are no additional medical forms or medical exams that's needed. Based on your tenure with IEEE, you can choose anywhere from $25,000 all the way up to $500,000 in coverage. And again, that's without any no medical exams are needed for that coverage, and you pay on a monthly installment. Pretty much in order to enroll, we just need your name, address, your country that you're in, and you would have to enter the beneficiaries. So the benefits of the international term life is that it's guaranteed acceptance. Again, what that means is that you don't need a medical exam. There are no medical questions that need to be answered. No medical tests are required. If you're between the ages of 18 to 65, you can sign up for this program. It's worldwide. It's coverage that travels with you. It's an easy online enrollment, and the first 60 days are free. And you have flexible terms. You can continue the coverage all the way to the age of 71. If you look at this is a sample of the international rates for as little as $5.77, you can purchase a limit of $75,000. And again, that's a monthly installment. And you can, these figures may be switched around a little bit. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. The 25,000 should probably be the 577, and the 1658 should be the 75,000. But again, these are monthly premiums, and in the event that something happens to you, this is the payout that your beneficiaries would receive. In reference to the mobile property, if you're traveling a lot and you have items with you such as tablets, laptops, phones, and luggage, this is a program that will protect your valuables that are with you. Protects against loss, theft, or damage. You have coverage options of 25,000, 5,000, as well as 10,000. And it particularly is very good because it covers you anywhere that you're traveling in the world. Again, it's an easy online enrollment. It provides you with instant protection. This is a once-in-a-year payment, and it's all year, and it provides you with unlimited travel. The accident and disability provides you with coverage in case you're temporarily disabled from an accident, permanently disabled from an accident, or have medical expenses resulting from an accident. And it provides you with evacuation and repatriation to home. So the evacuation is very important here. You know, if something happens to you and you're in an accident, you probably want to try to get home as quickly as possible. You may have a doctor at home that you want to work with. So the evacuation part of this will get you home as quickly as possible. The accident and disability, you're allowed to purchase different limits. The temporary disability is separate from the permanent total disability, so you can choose one or the other, and you can choose a different amount. If you're temporarily disabled, you may want a specific amount that's paid out on a monthly basis. If you're permanently disabled, you may just want one large lump sum payment that's paid out to you. So you do have the option to purchase one or both under that. And so key considerations to think about, you know, do you have loved ones that depend on you financially? If so, that goes back to the term life insurance. You know, in the event something would happen to you, would you want to have protection for your family so that they could pay your debt? And not only pay your debt, but so that they could be financially stable and be on their feet for a specific amount of time. You know, in the event of a loss, you just want to make sure that you have coverage so that financial burden doesn't be placed on your family in the event of a loss. In reference to the mobile property, you know, are you traveling overseas, or are you doing a lot of travel, and do you have a lot of technology with you? As Matthew stated, I'm in Dublin right now, and I think I have an iPad, iPhone, and Android, and my laptop. So, you know, when you're traveling, it's things that you don't think about. You know, I have probably, you know, all of that stuff in my carry-on. What if I left my carry-on on the plane? What if, you know, someone stole something, or, you know, snatched my pocketbook while I'm in Dublin? So it's just things to think about, you know, when you're traveling. We live in a world where we kind of are just used to having all of these gadgets on us without thinking about, you know, how much would it cost to really replace all of the things that's just, you know, simply in your backpack. If you're traveling outside of your home country for long periods of time, again, that's something to think about on why you would need insurance. And is your employer-based coverage enough? Many times when you're traveling, you may have some coverage that your employer is providing for you, but is that enough coverage, and do you need additional coverage in order to protect you while you're traveling? And so remember that question that we had earlier, what is the one thing that we forget to insure? And the answer is you and your family. So as we insure our cars because we have to when we're driving, we generally have renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance because that's, you know, pretty much what we're told to do, either by a mortgage company or we know we need renter's coverage. But one thing we usually forget about is the term life insurance, and have we taken the time to protect our family in the event of a loss so that during that time they at least have the financial stability that they need. So that was a kind of quick presentation. I hope someone has some answers. Some questions. And you want to access any of the term life insurance, mobile property, or personal accident insurance, you can go to the IEEE website and you'll see our Clements Partner Network. Again, through that website, you can easily enroll in the term life insurance. And if you want to look at some of the other products, such as car insurance, global health insurance, it would also take you directly to our Clements website, which again has an easy enrollment. Or of course, you can contact us at our phone number below or send us an email.
Perfect. Thank you
for. At this
for.
time, we'll take questions.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for a great overview on everything you have to offer us. Yeah, but I have a couple questions, and there are a couple questions coming in. Um, and I just recently learned about life insurance. Well, not recently. I've always known about it, but uh, what's the difference between life insurance or term life insurance, as you call it, and an estate bond? Are those
And
two
I'm sorry, what was the last part?
and an estate bond? I heard that's a
I'm not
separate option for those wanting life insurance coverage. I'm not too sure exactly what it is.
sure, and I will be honest, I'm not completely familiar with estate bond. I do have a limited background in reference to financial planning, so I would imagine that the estate bond is a product that you can take out in reference to your estate. I imagine that it works differently worldwide. I can reference the United States. When you're in the United States and there is a loss, the estate is held generally by an estate trust advisor, and that generally the estate is calculated up in reference to your assets versus your debt. So I imagine that you could purchase an estate bond that would simply cover your estate. The life insurance is paid out specifically to a beneficiary. It generally is not taxed, and that's paid out directly to the beneficiary to use as they see fit. Whereas I imagine estate bond would be specifically for the estate. So if you think about it, if the estate bond is specifically for the estate, outside of that, someone may have other financial obligations, such as, putting their children through school. It may be just to the person who may suffer maybe the one who suffered the loss. They may have been
Mhm.
the, single provider in the household. So at least this can provide some financial stability. So that may be the difference between the estate bond and term life insurance.
Okay, that makes sense in my mind. So you mentioned something that really stuck out in my to me in your presentation was at least that you guys actually cover high risk situations, and that's actually very interesting because I don't know, general local insurance, I guess you can call it, specifically excludes active war, terrorism in most of their policies. So is this high risk coverage relatively new, or have you guys been offering it for quite some time? And why have you started offering it if it's relatively new?
Sure. We actually have been offering high risk coverage for quite a while. We've been in the expat. We've been working with expats since 1947, and part of that is being able to go into high risk areas that a lot of insurance companies are not able to go into. So it's something that when we say we want to be a global worldwide solution, it's something that we sets us apart. So we've actually been going into high risk areas and having high risk solutions for a number of years.
Okay, that's actually really cool. I didn't know that was actually available. So does Clement actually offer employer-based solutions? Like, do you have, or is it just, I guess you can call it private solutions, or would you actually be also involved in some in employee coverage, or is it just private coverage as well? Because you mentioned that
Sure.
sometimes your employee coverage doesn't cover everything, and then you can add additional insurance, which is always a good idea. But in your case particularly, do you guys do both?
Actually, Clements has three solutions. So one would be individual. If someone wanted to just go on our website and purchase insurance, we have that option. The second one would be here with our partners like IEEE, where we offer specific insurance programs for IEEE members that you can probably purchase individually, but may not have these specific discounts for IEEE members. And then the third one is we do work with corporations to provide employee benefits. And so we do have a large commercial division as well that works with several large corporations throughout the world.
Okay, so you do kind of hit all three markets, I guess you can call it. um,
Exactly.
so we have a question coming in here.
I
When
believe I'm sorry.
Well, we have a question coming in here about life insurance, and I'll kind of paraphrase it. When so this is obviously a young professionals webinar. When should a young professional actually purchase life insurance? You gave the argument that when you have a family, but when would you suggest for someone like myself or any young professional worldwide to actually start investing in life insurance or purchasing life insurance, other than the case where you have a family?
Yes, I would also say, not necessarily if you just have children, but also if you have, student loan debt. If something happens to you that, unfortunately, your debt just doesn't just go away. You still have an estate. You still have beneficiaries, whether it be, mother, father, uncle, sister. So there's still someone that will have to settle your estate. So it's not necessarily always, to protect your children, your wife, or your spouse. It's also there to protect someone in the event that something happened to you, whoever that would be assigned to your estate. So it's the same concept, if something, God forbid, happening,
Mhm.
your mother has to or your father has to settle your estate, you have that financial, they would be your beneficiary on your policy, and they would have that financial benefit of still selling out your estate.
Okay, so could you maybe comment on other than student debt, would there be any other situation you can imagine which would be perfect for a young professional to get life insurance? Or is
I would
it
say
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
not only student loan debt, but a lot of us, I know when I first graduated from college, I still had credit card debt as well as a car note and things like that. And also, if you purchase it once you're right out of college, it's something that you have and you're already paying that monthly fee for. So it's something that what happens a lot of times is that, we start working, we're working for 5 or 10 years, and we're not really thinking about insurance. If you start at a younger age, right out of college, you purchase the life insurance, and it's not something that you have to think about. It's just there. I know, I work in insurance, and even still, it's like, oh, 10 years out of college, it was like, oh, I need to get some life insurance.
Yeah.
So this way, if you're purchasing it right out of college, it's something that you have. It's not something that you have to think about later on down the road that you might forget. You have it, you've been paying on it, and it's there.
Perfect.
Because as we
Perfect.
become successful, we always purchase cars and and
Yeah,
things like
exactly.
that. So,
Exactly, exactly. Maybe one last question to kind of end off everything. So where did maybe going back to your own personal experience, where did you start within the company? I'm just trying to see if you have any cool stories to share with us in terms of outrageous claims or anything like that, or unbelievable claims. I don't know. Maybe what's the most interesting thing to happen to you when you were at the insurance company at any point in the last 14 years?
you broke up on the last part.
Oh, sorry. Like, you've obviously been involved in insurance for 14 years. I was just wondering what's the most interesting thing to ever happen to you at your time with Clements? Was it maybe an outrageous claim or something along those lines?
Oh, sure. I would say, so I've been in the insurance industry for over 15 years. I've actually been with Clements. I started with them in June. So prior to working with Clements, my focus was on high net worth individuals, insuring their personal property and things like that. And so, if you think about the mobile property and things that we have, I would say that's probably where I see, some of the most outrageous claims. Maybe not necessarily in reference to computers or laptops or things like that, but I did have one client who she was dropping her son off at school, and she wanted to put some lotion on her hands, and her husband had purchased her $180,000 ring, and she took the ring off while she was lotioning her hands, and then she just got out the car and took her son into school and completely forgot about the ring.
Oh wow,
So
it was
yeah,
gone.
so she called, and she was very frantic, and the policy, she definitely had a policy that would cover her, but she more so cared about the sentimental value. So we actually, the company that I was working for at the time, or she was insured with, they actually paid for her to take her car to the dealership, have the seats taken out of the car to search for the ring, and unfortunately they didn't find it, but they did pay out a claim.
Oh, but
So
just I guess going beyond what was needed in that case of just paying out a claim, they actually helped in many different ways of actually finding solutions other than just paying out a claim. That's actually very very good.
exactly, and it goes back to broker, and again, that scenario wasn't at Clements, but it still has the same concept of Clements being a broker and really going above and beyond when something happens with our clients. Unfortunately, with life insurance and disability insurance, there aren't any really glamorous stories to tell. It's just a way to really protect your family in case something happens to you, as well as your financial stability. But if you get into the mobile property and things like that, that's when the stories become a little bit more interesting. We also have renters insurance, personal property insurance. If you're traveling and you're assigned somewhere for a long period of time, you can purchase personal property insurance. We have a global renters program, so we have a lot of things to really help the international expat traveling and or
Wow, that's
on
perfect.
assignment.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for a very informative webinar. I know I've learned a lot. Thanks so much again. Uh, so again, for everyone participating in the webinar, thank you for participating. Please complete our feedback survey, which will be going out today at least. Please join us for our next two member benefits insurance webinar coming up on the 12th and 24th of this month, no, November. Please check out our career-based services. We do have a Mentor Center and Resume Lab, which are two very powerful tools to actually move your career in the right direction. If you have any suggestions for other young professionals' products and services, please send us an email or check out our website. Again, thank you all for participating. Thank you again for Tanya on a very informative webinar. And with that, I'll end on the webinar. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.